Are you serious? Are you serious? Folks, we now have a sheriff's deputy that has been rushed into quarantine in Dallas. He is the sheriff's deputy that served the warrant to Duncan that he needed to be quarantined. Now he may have Ebola. Here's a report coming out of Dallas, Texas. Let us hear it right now.
Eric Duncan has died more than a week after becoming the first person diagnosed with Ebola here in the U.S. As you'll remember, he was sent home the first time he went to the ER. And this evening, word of that news scare. Another possible patient, a sheriff's deputy, rushed to that same hospital. That ambulance racing down a Dallas highway carrying the officer, part of the team that went inside that contaminated Dallas apartment. And right there, late today, getting out of that ambulance. Also breaking tonight, major changes at American airports because of all this. But first, ABC's Cecilia Vega live in Dallas for us again tonight. Cecilia?
David, good evening to you. Thomas Duncan spent 10 days here in this hospital fighting for his life, and tonight his family is outraged at the care that he received here. And now all eyes on that ambulance that you mentioned that showed up here this afternoon. Paramedics in head-to-toe hazmat gear outside Dallas today, quickly transforming this ambulance into a rolling isolation chamber. The patient, a sheriff's deputy, part of the team that delivered a quarantine order to Thomas Eric Duncan's family. Earlier today, that deputy visited a clinic feeling sick, now in a mask and gloves, rushing to the emergency room.
While we are being told the risk is minimal, overabundance of caution, we're taking several actions to make sure that the public health, safety, and welfare is protected.
This just hours after Duncan himself died in that Dallas hospital. Duncan's condition worsening in recent days from serious to critical. The hospital cleared an entire floor just for him, so he'd be in complete isolation. He was on life support and dialysis with kidney failure and given an experimental drug never before used to treat Ebola. This week, slight improvement, a normal body temperature, stabilized liver function. But ultimately, this deadly virus took over.
Yeah, I'm deeply saddened. This is something we prayed and hoped would not happen.
Duncan's family, grief-stricken and angry, claiming the 42-year-old Liberian man did not receive the same treatment as Americans rushed home for care. Tonight, health officials denying that, saying the doctors, nurses, and staff at Presbyterian provided excellent and compassionate care. But Ebola is a disease that attacks the body in many ways. But still, that question, if Duncan had been admitted to the hospital on his first visit instead of being sent home, would he have survived?
I can't comment.
And that's really the question that everyone's wondering. How does a man from Liberia with a high fever and vomiting go to an emergency room, tell the nurses that, and not be treated or tested or isolated to be checked to see if maybe he has Ebola, but instead he's sent home with antibiotics that doesn't even work on a virus, only to return to that ER in serious condition 2 days later and ultimately to die. And now this deputy sheriff who served the quarantine order on the apartment where the Texas Ebola patient Thomas Duncan had been staying, he's now been brought by ambulance sick to the same hospital for possible contraction of the Ebola virus. Well, we're praying he doesn't have it. We're praying that no one else gets this virus from Duncan. But there's still others that are becoming sick that we've heard of. There's another man that lived in this same apartment complex who never come in contact with Duncan, who is ill and is being tested right now to see if he may have the Ebola virus. And if this comes to pass, that a man that's not even been in contact with the man still gets it, which means he had to get it off a surface or off an aerosol, maybe when they were spray cleaning the sidewalks. Did it create an aerosol droplets? We don't know enough about this disease. To be quite honest with you, it attacks the body in many ways. This is a demonic force. This disease is not of God. And people, I get emails from people, well, if your God is so powerful, why does he allow this disease? Well, God held every disease back from mankind. It's man that failed God. It was man in the garden. It is man that continues to resist God and reject God and not believe in God. God gives us a free will to choose which path we want to go, who to serve. But he doesn't stop the devil. He gives us authority over the devil. And not everybody understands that authority, and not everybody is willing to walk in that authority, and not everybody believes the power they have in Christ Jesus. Are you saved? This is a pestilent. This is maybe the first of the 7 last plagues to be poured out on the earth in the book of Revelation, chapter 15, verse 1. Are you going to trust in God? I ask people, do you have Obamacare or do you have Jesus care? You choose.